Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another stream. We're here a little bit late tonight. It's about 10 o'clock my time. Still nice 24-degree weather outside. But we are here. We are chilly, but we are here. And we're going to do another stream tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about... Hold on, let me get the comments pulled up. Let me get the comments pulled up. We're going to be talking about changing the way you see anxiety. I'm going to send out some notifications. I don't trust that notification bell as far as I can throw it. So we're going to send out those notifications real quick. We're going to wait for some people to get in here who want to watch us live. And then we'll get started on this topic tonight, guys. Again, we're going to be talking about changing the way you see anxiety. This is a big one. They're all pretty big ones, and they all really touch on the same point. But hopefully we can put a certain spin on things tonight that'll help you out a little bit. So... we'll see. Who got first in chat? We got Casey. We got Ghost. We got Brian. We got Miller. We got David. all right. Having a panic attack. Then this is the perfect stream for you. We're going to be talking about how you have to look at this in a different way. We're going to be talking about how you have to change your perspective. You guys know we talk about changing what you tell yourself all the time here, right? Like that's a big thing for us on the stream, changing what you tell yourself, the accepting inner voice, or rather, as we've been calling it here recently, the accepting attitude. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and chat seems to be filling up pretty quickly, so I don't think we have to wait around too long. Who else we got in here? We got Kate. What's up, Kate? We got Sky. We got Cliff. What's up, guys? What's up, everyone? Yeah, wow, chat is coming in quick tonight, so I don't think we have to wait around too long before we get started. Let's see here. I did change the background a little bit. And still my chat box isn't working, and I'm not sure why. I'll tell you what. Let's try to fix that real quick, and after we do that, we'll go ahead and get the stream if I can speak, get the stream started. But let me see if I can fix that. So chat highlight. They've added a bunch of new stuff. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. Capture. It's a widget, right? It should be under a widget. Chat box. There we go. Okay. Add new source. Alright, so we just added a new chat box. Let's see if that works at all. Not sure what the deal is with that. But anyway, whether it works or doesn't work, we're going to get this stream going. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're talking about changing the way you see anxiety. So, you know, we always talk about the accepting inner voice, and here recently we've been calling it the accepting attitude, right? Whichever you want to call it, whichever way you want to look at it, what it really comes down to, what we're kind of hinting at when we talk about the accepting inner voice or the accepting attitude, we are getting at the fact that you need to start to see your anxiety in a new way, right? Dr. Claire Weeks, first and second fear. First fear being the feelings and the thoughts, and you can't really do much about first fear. Second fear is what you can control. It's what's going to come down to healing, not healing, so forth and so on. And second fear is all the added worry, obsession, negativity. You can really sum second fear up with the word negativity, right? So changing the way you see anxiety, what is the perfect way to get you into a good place where you're not adding second fear? Well, it's to change the way you see the anxiety, because if you think about it, let's think about it for just a second. The only reason that you start to mentally add negativity, whether that be through the form of worry or obsession, so forth and so on, the only reason you get into second fear, that you dabble into second fear to begin with, is because of the way that you see anxiety. Right? The way that you see anxiety right now for a lot of you is probably very negative, dominantly negative. I don't want to feel it. It's a bad thing. It's a sign of a bad thing. It's something that I must make go away because I don't like the way that it makes me feel, so forth and so on. Now, you can apply this to both thoughts and feelings, right? You fight them because you don't like them. You have a very bad perspective of them. Show of hands in chat who has, or used to have at least, before you started practicing, a very bad opinion of anxiety. something that I don't want, something that nobody should ever have, something that if it's there, it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing, and you need to fix it, you need to do something about it, you need to get away from it as quickly as possible. It's going to lead to something bad. Show of hands, how many people in chat has at one point or still has that perspective of anxiety, right? So if we know that Dr. Claire Weeks' second fear basically being negativity, we know that this keeps the nerves stressed. We know that this keeps the brain wired to be anxious. We know that second fear, aka negativity, is the culprit behind why people do not heal, right? We know that. And if we know that, we also know that changing the way you view anxiety is fundamental to your recovery. It is fundamental to get you out of second fear. You can't get out of second fear, which is negativity. We're summing the word second fear up with the word negativity. You can't get out of negativity, which you must do to heal, if the way that you view anxiety is bad. Right? We'll just use the word bad. If the way that you view anxiety is bad, how can we expect you to practice getting out of negativity? How can we expect you to practice getting out of what Dr. Claire Weeks called second fear? Right? We can't expect that out of you. We can't expect you to practice not adding second fear if the way that you view this thing as a whole is not being worked on, is not being changed, it's not being, practiced. So think of it like this. Your goal, right? Your goal to get towards recovery, to get towards healing, and to take the stress off your nerves, to retrain your brain, whatever you want to call it, is to stop adding negativity. How can you stop adding negativity if you're not working on changing the way that you view anxiety? Now, here comes the big question. How do we do that? Right? Of course, you guys know the two main keys here on the channel. Accepting positive behaviors, which means you just live your life, you're doing things, you're being productive, you're having fun. And the other one of our two main keys is the accepting inner voice, or you can call it an accepting attitude. So how do you do that? How do you get that accepting attitude? How do you get away from second fear, aka negativity? You do that by changing the way you view anxiety. You see, we're coming full circle with the point of the stream tonight. Changing the way you view anxiety. So how do you change the way you view anxiety? It's going to come down to what you tell yourself. You guys know this. It's going to come down to what you tell yourself. Now, let me give you an example. We love examples around here. We're a huge fan of examples. If you wake up, right, or you're going through your day, and you are hit with, I don't know, let's say some strong intrusive thoughts, or let's say some strong anxiety feelings, or both, right? And your automatic perspective, and it will feel automatic because it's a bad habit. That's okay. We can catch it. Your automatic perspective is immediately bad thing, bad thing, bad thing. I don't like the way this makes me feel. This is going to lead to something bad. This is going to mount to something bad. This is going to get too intense. This is blah, 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 bad thing, bad thing, bad thing. Whatever you tell yourself out of habit, your automatic sort of knee-jerk reaction when you experience strong feelings and thoughts, or vice versa, or both, is bad thing, bad thing, bad thing. How can we keep you out of second fear, which is the goal, which is the only way that we're going to get you to really heal? How can we keep you out of that second fear if you're not actively making a conscious effort to work on the way that you see this anxiety? So you've got to intervene at some point. At some point, you've got to intervene, and you've got to practice this attitude shift. We call it the accepting inner voice. We call it the accepting attitude. Whatever you want to call it, at some point it must be practiced. So here's what you should be doing. You need to, as many times as you can, as many opportunities as anxiety gives you, and I'm sure anxiety gives you plenty of opportunities, right? As many as opportunities as anxiety gives you, whether it hits you with a bunch of intrusive thoughts, or a particular intrusive thought, or a bunch of physical symptoms, as many opportunities as anxiety gives you, you need to be practicing telling yourself something new to get you into an accepting attitude. So which sounds better, chat? Person A, who's not working on that and just automatically and without catching it goes straight to, oh, these feelings are bad, they're negative, they mean something bad's going to happen, or I want them to go away, or maybe you don't even think something bad's going to happen, maybe you just hate them so much, right? Maybe you don't think you're going to die or go crazy, but you just hate them so much, so automatically you think bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, don't want to feel this way, right? Who's going to get to recovery? That person, person A, or person B, who automatically starts to think kind of negative when their anxiety comes on. Oh, God, here it is. But then they catch it, and they make a conscious effort to practice telling themselves something like, and these are just examples, to practice telling themselves something like, hey, this feeling means that I'm healing. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. As long as I'm not adding second fear, this feeling means that I'm healing, right? As long as I'm not adding a bunch of negativity, then this release needs to happen. This isn't a bad thing. The more I feel this, the closer I am to getting back to myself. The more I feel this, the closer I am to retraining my brain. The more I feel this, the better, right? Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. Who's going to get to healing, chat? Person A, who's not working on that, not trying to catch that, not making an attempt to change the way they view anxiety, or person B, who is not perfect, but they're catching their own negativity and they're turning it into the accepting attitude. And yeah, they don't feel like it. And yeah, again, they're not perfect and maybe they don't fully believe it, but they're trying. They're making a conscious effort to change the way they view their anxiety from bad, bad, bad to this is okay, right? This means I'm healing. I'm not adding second fear like I used to be, so that means this release needs to happen. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. That's just a brain fact, right? So who's going to heal, person A or person B? I think you guys know the answer to that question, right? The person B, who is making a conscious effort to change the way they view anxiety in the heat of the moment, even though they don't feel like it, even though they're not perfect, even though they might not necessarily believe it 100%, person B, who is making a conscious effort to change their relationship towards anxiety from one of second fear, which is what? Negativity, from one of second fear to one of acceptance. That's the person that's going to make the progress. So person B, as they're feeling anxious, they are telling themselves things like, and again, these are just examples, this feeling is healing. I need this release to happen. This is not a bad thing. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. And they're also getting on with their day. So as they're doing this, as they're having this, practice of this accepting attitude, telling themselves new things, they're also getting on with their day. They're also doing productive behaviors, having a little bit of fun. No, they don't feel like doing any of this. I want you to know that. They don't feel like doing any of this, but they're doing it, right? That's the person that's going to heal because they're making cognitive changes, which is mental, what you tell yourself, and they're making physical changes. They're not just going to Google. They're not sitting in the chair all day, in the bed all day. They are showing their brain with their behaviors, hey, there's no tiger here. Look at me get on with my day, doing normal things. And they're showing their brain with their mental, hey, look at me not gassing the fire. I'm changing my relationship towards anxiety, right? Right? So understand that the person that's going to get to recovery is the person that changes the way they view anxiety. It's the person that changes their perspective. I don't think you're riding solo, Sky. People are just really focused. Is the person that is changing the way that they view anxiety. Is the person that is changing their relationship towards anxiety. And you can only change your perspective of anxiety. You can only get out of the second fear perspective by making a conscious effort to do so, by telling yourself new things, by looking at it a different way. You can only look at something a different way by telling yourself new things about it. So you need to find what it is that you want to tell yourself to change your relationship towards anxiety. That's what's going to get you out of second fear. Now, something else that I hear all the time when we talk about this topic is something along the lines of, yeah, but I tell myself these things. I tell myself, oh, this feeling is healing, but how can I believe that, Wonder Bro, when I've been at this for this long and blah, 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 and I'm not making the progress? Well, the reason that the feeling has not been healing for you is because, again, you're still looking at it as a bad thing, right? So people will say, well, Wonder Bro, why do you like to tell people this feeling is healing? I've had it for so long and I'm not healed yet. Well, because you're not looking at it the right way. You're still adding second fear, right? You're still adding second fear. That's why the feeling is not healing for you. That is why the feeling is not healing. The reason the feeling has not been healing for you is because you're going at it with second fear perspective. You're going at it by telling yourself a bunch of negative things. No, you're right. You are absolutely right. The feeling is not healing if you're sitting there the whole time while it's there adding a bunch of negativity because you're just stressing the amygdala even more. So you're right. The feeling is not healing if you are trying to feel it with a second fear perspective because you're just gassing the fire more. So you are right. But the ironic thing is, if you start to view it as healing, so in the heat of the moment, you're telling yourself, this feeling is healing. You're changing the way that you view anxiety, your perspective towards anxiety. Then that feeling does become healing. That's the irony. Then that feeling does become healing. So I wanted to address that real quick because, Anxious people, yeah, been there, done that. They try to poke holes in everything, right? They try to poke holes in everything. So understand that the feeling is indeed healing if you see it that way. If you're seeing it in a very second fear way and you're telling yourself very negative second fear things, then of course that feeling's not healing because you're just stressing the amygdala out, right? So does everybody get what I'm saying there? So that's just a common little loophole that people try to catch me up on. Yeah, but this, well, I got rid of that loophole, so it's time to start, right? It's time to get started on changing your relationship towards anxiety, changing the way you view anxiety. If you think about it, guys, when we talk about things like the accepting inner voice, the accepting attitude, these are all the same things. These all mean the same thing. And what it means at the end of the day, just to put it in a new way tonight, a fresh spin on things, what it means, the accepting inner voice, not adding second fear, acceptance, what do all these terms mean? They come down to just changing the way that you look at anxiety with what you tell yourself, right? That's all these terms mean. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't confuse yourself. I know how easily you confuse yourself. All this stuff means at the end of the day is that we need you to practice changing the way that you view anxiety. That way, when the fire is burning and these feelings are strong and these thoughts are strong, you are standing your ground because you've got a new way of viewing this stuff. You're telling yourself things like, hey, my brain's learning. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. Yeah, it's no more fun. It doesn't make it any more fun in the moment or comfortable, but it leads to healing because you're standing your ground. You're not adding a ton of second fear, which is negativity, right? So, again, people get confused on terms, and I understand. It's really, really easy to overthink this stuff, but all this stuff comes down to is just changing what you tell yourself about anxiety. That's it. We're not trying to fight the thoughts or feelings away. We're not trying to get you to do the impossible and force those thoughts away. It's just when you catch yourself worrying about your thoughts and feelings, you come back to a new perspective and you tell yourself something new, like anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. I need this. Let this happen. You know, whatever you want to tell yourself. There's so many examples. But all this stuff comes down to, guys, is we're not trying to get you to fight your thoughts and feelings away. We're trying to get you to feel like crap, but feel like crap the right way. We're trying to get you to feel like hell, but feel like hell the right way. We're trying to get you to feel like shit, but get you to feel like shit the right way. How do you feel like shit the right way? You feel like shit the right way by what you tell yourself while you feel like shit. Instead of trying to fight the thoughts and feelings away, you're not adding that second fear. If you fight the thoughts and feelings, that's all negativity and second fear and worry, blah, blah, blah. We're just trying to get you to stop doing the impossible, which is trying to fight those thoughts and feelings away. And what we're trying to get you to do is just to change the way you see them, right? So that when they're there, yes, they still suck. Yes, they're still uncomfortable. Yes, they're still not fun. But you're not adding second fear because you're seeing it as a release, for example. You're telling yourself it's a release. You're telling yourself feel it to heal it. You're telling yourself this feeling is healing. You're telling yourself all these new things. So we're not trying to get you to not feel like crap right now. We understand that you feel like crap. You're not going to feel like crap in the end when you get to healing. But for right now, we just want you to accept that these thoughts and feelings are there, and we want you to do it in the right way, which is going to come down to the way that you view it, right? Which is going to come down to what you tell yourself. So does everybody get the point there? Because some people still try to use acceptance like a pill, instant relief, blah, blah, blah. No, it's okay to have these thoughts and feelings. We just want you to have them with the correct mindset, which is telling yourself new things that doesn't involve a fight and negativity. We want you to catch your own worry and turn that worry into accepting these thoughts and feelings by telling yourself something new about them. Does everybody get where I'm coming from, right? Does everybody get where I'm coming from? So it's not about trying to do the impossible. It's not about trying to fight the thoughts and feelings. It's not about trying to do any of that. It's about experiencing them with the correct mindset. It's about experiencing them by telling yourself new things about what's going on instead of so much negativity, right? Doesn't make it suck any less in the moment, but it will lead to healing. It will lead to healing. All right, beautiful people. That was the point of tonight's stream. I hope you're all doing fantastic. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, I like that. That was a good little rant. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. Let's do a little bit of a roll call. Who do we still have in chat with us tonight? Who is still here with us? Let's see. We've got Charles in here. I'm going to get some music going in just a second, guys. We got Charles in here. We got JB in here. Let's see. Read some comments. I have heard it said we recover consciously before we do subconsciously. Yeah, because you're in control of what you do consciously, right? And then the subconscious changes are made on their own. So it's out of your hands, but it's in your hands. It's in your hands, but it's out of your hands. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes I say things like, you've got complete control over this in an indirect way. Does that make sense? You've got complete control of this in an indirect thing. You control what you can control, which is what you tell yourself consciously and is what you do consciously with your behaviors. But then on a subconscious level, all these changes are made, right? Which is out of your hands. So you're in control, but you're out of control. I think you get my point. All right, guys, let's get some music rolling, and then once we get some tunes going in the background, we'll continue to read comments. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask those questions now. Make sure this music's not too loud. Let's see. Okay, I think that's an all right volume. What's up, Rick? Let's see. How you doing, Kate? This is because we have to change our behaviors consciously first while in the midst of anxiety before. Yes, exactly. So you only have control over what you have control over, which is what you choose to do behavioral-wise, right? And what you choose to tell yourself about the moment. And then, of course, subconscious changes are made on a deeper level, and then you start to feel better, right? You start to feel naturally better. So I love the comment, Charles. I want to celebrate by bugging Wonder Bro to do a live with you and I, Kate. Finally was able to hear Wonder Bro live. What's up, JB? Hope you're having a good night, dude. My luscious legs. What if you're scared of being depressed or numb, like you're scared of doing stupid things? How can you move on with your life? If you feel kind of numb or don't feel alive, how can you train that? Some typos, but I think I got it. So the feeling of numbness, the feeling of fatigue, a lot of people are really quick to put the label of depression on themselves, and I don't think you should be so quick to do that. It's a very self-defeating label, and it adds just a ton of negativity. It adds a ton of second fear. Now, of course, I'm not telling you, hey, if you want to go talk to somebody, all those things are great. But what I am telling you is don't be so quick to add the label of depressed or depression on yourself, because again, it's very self-defeating. What you tell yourself about your quote-unquote, let's say, numbness, like you use there, what you tell yourself about what you feel is going to be the difference between suffering or just what you feel. What you feel is just what you feel. Whether or not it turns into suffering is going to come down to what you tell yourself about it, right? Which is exactly what Dr. Claire Weeks meant by first and second fear. So in this example, we could say that the first fear would be the feeling of numbness. Can't really control it right now. The second fear would be what you tell yourself about it. So you get all these thoughts and you get all these feelings, and kind of out of habit, you're so quick to put these negative labels on them and see them in a very negative way. And that's really what the practice is, to try to see them in a different way, to try to peek it a different way, right? To try to glance it a different way. Getting better with health anxiety, but struggling to retrain. Yeah, so exactly. It's the same concept. Some people do confuse themselves thinking that there's a different way you should approach different thoughts or feelings. Really not true, because resistance in any form, right, negativity, always just adds to the problem. It always just turns it into suffering when it doesn't need to be. Yes, okay, this reassuring because I've been pushing out and I've been feeling like shit, but I know this is going to work. Yes, so again, Charles, a big point tonight on the stream was that anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. So if you're viewing it that way, then that means you're willing to embrace it. You're willing to do the work while it's there, instead of seeing it as such a negative thing. All right, guys, keep your comments coming in. We will be right back. If you have comments, please ask them, and yeah, we will be right back. All right, we are back. Who do we still have with us? Roll call. Let's see. David says, struggling to apply Dr. Claire Week's method and found Winterbrother and Becca Fear, and it has taken me to the next level of recovery. It does work, but you have to be patient. Yes, I love that comment, David. So true. So true. Really struggling with panic attacks lately, Chris, and tightness of the chest, plus no sleep happening, to really getting to me. So again, a lot of this second fear, which is negativity, is what fuels this fire. It's what makes it as bad as it is. Now, a lot of people at first disagree with that. They think, oh, well, my feelings and my thoughts are just naturally so horrible, right? But they're not taking into account how much second fear is being added, which is what you tell yourself. All of that nasty resistance sort of thinking, that nasty negative sort of thinking that you do towards the thoughts and feelings that you're experiencing. People are quick to not take into account how much of the intensity and suffering is due to that, right? They don't take that into account. They just think, oh, this thing is so horrible and it's so awful and it's just naturally that way. And that's not true. Right? Yes, it can be intense, and yes, it can be strong, and yes, it can be uncomfortable. But you've got to take into account the way that you're, what you're telling yourself, the things that you're telling yourself. You have to take into account how much of the suffering is being added due to that. And I can tell you from experience and from doing this for so long, so many years now, 90% of that suffering is going to come from the way that you view it. So as you're sitting there experiencing these intense thoughts and feelings, but you're telling yourself how bad it is and how it's a bad thing and whatever it is you tell yourself that's negative, right? You are putting forth that like 90% of the suffering, right, is coming from you. It's coming from the things you're telling yourself. It's coming from your own attitude, right? And Dr. Claire Weekes knew that best. So you must take into account just how much of this quote-unquote suffering is coming from your own personal choice. People don't take that into account. Yes, these feelings can be intense. I'm not trying to say they're not, right? Like, I understand that. Yes, these feelings can be intense and these thoughts, so forth and so on. I get the intensity, right? But what I'm saying is you must account for how you're turning it into a bigger thing than a much bigger thing than it actually is in reality, right? Until you take account for that, until you account for it, chances are you won't practice changing the way that you view it. And if you don't practice changing the way that you view it, you're in this rabbit hole of what Dr. Claire Weekes called second fear. You must change the way that you see it. You must start to tell yourself new things in the heat of the moment. Yes, the moment is still very hot. Yes, it is not fun, right? But you must take into account what you're adding to the fire here, which is what you tell yourself. You must start to take responsibility for that, because it's the only way that you're going to start to make the changes that are necessary for you to break out of this, I guess you could say, self-fulfilling prophecy of this suffering that you're putting yourself through. Right? Does that make sense? I hope that helps, Cliff. Start to try to see this in a new way. Start to try to tell yourself different things while the fire is burning. Yes, it's still intense, but start to try to tell yourself different things while that fire is burning, and continue living, of course. Positive behaviors, right? Can't forget about that. And what's a positive behavior for anyone who's confused? It just means continue on living normally and doing normal things. Wake up with it in the mornings. Yes, morning anxiety is very, very common. Very, very common. And all of the advice that we've given here tonight absolutely 110% applies to morning anxiety. What's up, Mr. Craig? Man, it's chilly. It is chilly. We're going to turn on the heat. Turning on the heat. All right, that should start to feel a little bit more comfortable here in a second. Nice new background, Waterbro. Love the stargazing cat. What's up, Donkey? Yes, the stargazing cat. I don't know, for some reason before I started the stream tonight, I was like, you know what? We could use a new background. We haven't had a new one in quite some time. I'm glad you like it, Donkey. How are you doing, dude? I still don't know why my chat box isn't working. I'm starting to think it's not a me problem, and it's a problem with OBS right now, because I even added a new chat box. It's still not working. So I'll have to do some research into that. Try to figure out what's going on there. Yeah, because I've got a brand new chat box and it's still not wanting to work. We'll figure it out eventually, guys. We'll figure it out eventually. How are you doing tonight, Donkey? Rick. Thank you so much, dude. Rick with the $5 tip. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support. If we could get some purple hearts in the chat for my boy, Rick. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Much love, much gratitude going your way, Rick. Thank you for the first tip of the stream. We are at 226-day streak, you guys. If you'd like to support the stream and get the little, what do we name him, Greg or Gary or something, the little cloud guy to pop up, all you got to do is use the link in the description or the links on the screen, but you won't get the little cloud dude, so be warned. I'm good, Wonder Bro. Yeah, missed the chat box, but the cat makes up for it. Yes, at least the cat makes up for it somewhat. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that. It's weird. Just started doing it all of a sudden. I watched some of your past video, and you also said you lost weight in X Drive and also get numb. Sex Drive and also get numb. Felt like you didn't know what was going on. How did you retrain your brain and get back on the truck? Everything that I'm telling you tonight, right? And here's the thing. You might be falling for a very common pitfall. A very common pitfall, JB, which is... the advice is right in front of you, but it doesn't apply to me because I'm a special case, right? And I'm not trying to, like, call you out. I don't even know if that's true, but... Donkey, I will get to that in just a second. Real quick. So, I don't know if that's true or not, JB. If you're like, oh, yeah, the advice is right here, but I'm not so sure that it applies to me. It absolutely applies to you, right? So, what you want to do is the same thing that we've been talking about tonight. You want to change your perspective. You want to tell yourself things that are not so rooted in second fear, aka negativity. You want to remind yourself to let these feelings be. You want to tell yourself things like, this feeling is healing, and I'm going to allow this release to happen. You want to tell yourself these new things that put you into more of an accepting attitude instead of such a stressful attitude, which is just continuing to stress your tired mind and body, right? So you want to work on what you tell yourself, JB, and while you're working on what you tell yourself and you're not fighting with these thoughts and feelings as much anymore, you want to continue on with your life. You want to continue on doing things that are important to you, things that you enjoy, or even cliche things. It doesn't matter, the little things, right? So again, we always come full circle to the two main keys, which is practice what you're telling yourself and live your life, man. Practice what you're telling yourself and live your life. Donkey, thank you so much for the $5 tip, dude. We are at 10 on our 226-day streak. Thank you for the love and support, guys. Thank you for all the purple hearts. David, JB, Kate, everyone, thank you so much for the purple hearts. Yes, we are at 10 on our 226-day streak. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Donkey, and thank you, I believe it was Rick, right? Let's see. Yeah, Rick, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Maybe I feel like this because I'm going through a breakup. I mean, that could be it too, dude. Breakups, they suck. It's just a part of being human. But the same advice applies. You know, what good is resistance? What good is negativity? Remind yourself that these feelings are allowed to be, allowed to release, and don't get so in your head with the negativity about them, right? So, but you're right. If you're going through a breakup, it absolutely could just be the result of that. The advice doesn't change, though. In my opinion, the advice doesn't change. Donkey, thank you so much for the purple hearts, dude. John, what's up, John? How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a good minute. How have you been? I'm glad you guys like the stargazing cat. He's cute. He's really cute. Isn't he adorable? Isn't he adorable? Everybody, man, everybody is going to have their knee-jerk reaction to their symptoms, whether it be thoughts or feelings. Automatically, you're going to have like a negative knee-jerk habitual reaction. Just catch that and start working on what you tell yourself, right? That's what this really comes down to. That's how you change your relationship with these thoughts and feelings, is by seeing them in a new light. And that's going to come down to what you tell yourself, right? I don't want you to fight with the thoughts and feelings. I don't want to get you involved in the content of them, like try to argue with the specifics. I just want you to see it all in a new way, right? And that's going to come down to what you tell yourself. So that negativity and resistance is born through what you tell yourself, and it's also eliminated through what you tell yourself. And it's a practice, because for so long you viewed all these thoughts and feelings in a very, very bad light, a very negative light. So it's going to take a little bit of practice. Going to take a little bit of time, going to take a little bit of practice, and that's okay. Anything that's great that comes to you in life, it takes practice, takes time, and it's worth it in the end. It's so worth it in the end, and you're all going to get there. You're all going to get there. Believe me, right? We just need you to keep showing up and keep putting in that work, okay? That's what we need. That is what we require. So, example, what would you say to yourself if you're feeling of numbness? I don't even say or depression, because it's not really depression. If you're going through a breakup, you're experiencing very human, normal emotions, right? Like, it's okay if I feel this is good because now I can retrain my brain. I would tell myself, if I was going through like a breakup and I was feeling numb, or again, not even depressed, just normal human emotions during a breakup, I would tell myself something like, this is allowed to be here. This will pass. This is allowed to release. This is okay. It's a part of being human, right? You would ground yourself instead of getting so lost in the negativity, which is the suffering, which is the second fear that Dr. Claire Weeks referred to. I know we're not exactly on the subject of anxiety, but it doesn't matter. To have a negative perspective towards your feelings will always be added suffering, and it's always not a good idea. It's not a good time, all right? So I hope that helps you out, JB. Try to see your feelings in a new way, dude, and let them be. Let them be. This applies to all of you in chat, not just JB. This applies to every single one of you. Whether you're going through anxious feelings or you're going through feelings that are caused by life, just life stuff, right? It doesn't matter. To change the way you view your thoughts and feelings instead of fighting with them and being negative about them is a trait that is not only going to heal you and your mind and your body, it's going to serve you for the rest of your entire freaking life, right? David with the $5 Cash App. David, thank you so much, dude. Can we get some love in the chat for my boy David with the $5 Cash App? We are at 15 on a 226-day streak. Thank you guys for all of the lovely comments, the positivity, the support, the tips, the views, the likes, man. I'm just so thankful for all of you beautiful people. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. And I love helping people. And it wouldn't be possible without people like Donkey and David and Rick and all of these awesome supporters. So please show them some love. And you too for just watching. I appreciate so much of what you do. I'm good, buddy. Glad you continue to help others like you helped me. John, thank you for popping in, showing some love, and sharing some positivity, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you, John. Continue going, dude. Continue leveling up. There's always room for improvement, right? Rick, thank you so much for the hearts. When I was first beginning my acceptance journey, I used to avoid videos or posts about anxiety because I was going throughout my day and I'd be triggered then mad that I remembered it. Gotcha. So there's some avoidance, right? But you're starting to understand, or at least I hope you're starting to understand, that it's really just how you view anxiety. It's what you tell yourself about these thoughts and feelings. It's not so much about avoiding certain things. It's just more about what you tell yourself about the experience. That's going to determine everything, right? At the end of the day, that's going to determine everything. So I think you're starting to realize that now. And if you haven't yet, you will, I promise. Okay, you finished, you followed that up with conjure up the bad memories. Now I welcome it and show myself I'm not afraid. I love it. So you're starting to see that being anxious is not a bad thing. You're starting to change what you tell yourself. You're starting to change your relationship towards anxiety, the way that you view anxiety, and that's the accepting attitude. Not to fight with the thoughts and feelings, but just to tell yourself that they're allowed to be, or whatever it is you tell yourself with your accepting inner voice, right? While you get on with your day. This is what this is all about, and this is such a good stream. Thank you guys for all the great questions. Why is the feelings of panic so scary and frightening? It takes a lot to stay out of this feeling because you're telling yourself they are so scary and frightening. Now, yes, they are supposed to be intense because that is your body's protection mechanism to get you fighting or fleeing. So, yes, they're supposed to be intense, but when you add all of this extra fuel of, oh my God, so scary, that's what we're trying to work on. That's what we've got to get you to stop doing. So when the feelings of panic are there, you're allowed to say, yes, this is intense, but you got to drop all that other crap out of your vocabulary, like, oh my God, so bad, so horrible, so scary. You got to drop all that if you want to get closer to recovery. That's got to go. You're allowed to say, yes, this is intense, but you should not be using all these other terms in your vocabulary. You should be changing the way you view it. You should be practicing being with it and changing your relationship towards it, which is absolutely possible, but it's not possible without your participation. You have got to come into it and drop all those terms out of your vocabulary. And you can say, yes, this is intense, but you should be saying things like, this feeling's allowed to be here. It's just a release. This feeling's allowed to be here. This is allowed to be. This is allowed to release. This feeling is a good thing. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on, so I'm going to let it happen. Right? That's what you should be practicing if you want to get closer to recovery. And I hope after tonight's stream you make the conscious decision to do that. You're not going to be perfect at it, and it will take some work, but I absolutely believe in you. 100% believe in you, right? You're going to get there, buddy. You're going to get there. All of you are going to get there. And I love you very, very much. So keep that in mind. Got it. Thank you, Wonder Bro. Absolutely, JB. No problem, dude. I miss my mom. Hey, Craig, I completely can relate. I understand. Feel so tired all the time. Sucks. Yeah, I lost my dad not long ago, so I get those feelings. Some days are worse than others, but you should just respect that feeling and allow it to be and understand that it will pass, right? It will pass. All feelings pass, so keep yourself afloat and allow yourself to feel. Doesn't scare you, it's just words. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's really what it is at the end of the day. It's just words. If you think about it, I mean, it really, ironically, if you think about it, it's just words. It's okay to feel a little bit lost, JB. It's okay to feel a little bit lost, dude. You're going to get right back on track with this practice that you're learning here on the channel. This is going to be your fundamental practice that's going to help you get everything else in line. It's going to help everything fall into place, this practice right here. Right? So all that other stuff that you're so worried about, that's going to come sort of naturally and as a direct consequence of what you're learning here. Does that make sense? It's going to come as a consequence of what you're learning. Everything will fall into place due to you learning this practice. All right, guys, time for a little drink. I'm going to grab my drink. We'll be back. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them now in the chat. We got about 15 minutes left in this stream, so get your questions in quick, and we will do our best to answer them. If you'd like to support the stream, we are on 15 out of our 50 tip goal on a 226-day streak. You can do so using the link in the description or the links on the screen, the emails on the screen. But yes, get your questions in because we've only got about 15 minutes left, so now is the time. I will be right back. Beautiful people. So many great questions tonight. Love you guys. Be right back. All right, beautiful people, we are back. Can I just say it'll pass? It will. It will. I think Wonder Bro needed it. Yes. I mean, you can start to tell yourself anything that gets you away from this very negative second fear. We said that word a lot tonight. That very negative second fear perspective, right? So you're letting these thoughts and feelings burn, man. And yeah, sometimes they do burn hot, but you're doing it with the right foundation, which is what you tell yourself, right? You're doing it with the right foundation. It doesn't make it suck any less in the moment, guys, and I want you to understand that. And that's okay. That's a part of it. And if you know that, you can expect that and it'll make it a lot easier. So it might not suck any less in the moment, but you're going at it and you're just letting it happen. You're letting it release, and you're not adding fuel to the fire, right? You're not adding fuel to the fire. So you find what works best to tell yourself, and you run with it, dude. You run with it, and you will get there. You will get there. Let's see if I can find... I want to drop a quick link. We don't do this often, but I do want to drop a quick link to a stream that I did the other day, which I find very beneficial. Let's see. Okay, so this one right here. See if I can copy that up. There we go. So this stream right here that I just dropped a link to in the chat, like I said, I find it to be a very beneficial stream because it explains how, yes, it still burns hot, but that's okay. That's a good kind of burning, right? So we're changing your perspective towards that burning. So a good stream, and if you missed it, I recommend checking it out. Recommend checking it out for sure. Started, even though I felt nauseous, was starting to help me get out of those really bad times. Had to float and just keep moving forward. I love it, Jillian. You sound like you're on the right track. Really, you do. Keep going. Keep going. I'm proud of you guys, and you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs, and this is just a very normal part of the journey, man. It's a very normal part of the journey. But tonight's stream, for example, in the stream I posted a link to, you know, we talk about how, yeah, it sucks, but if you've got the right attitude while it sucks, you know, it will pass. It will. It always passes. It really does. Thank you, David, for that comment. It's absolutely true, David. Absolutely true. Panic a good bit over the COVID. The more I thought of, the worse my anxiety. Yeah, so the more you view it as such a bad thing, right? The more you view it with this negative sort of perspective, right? It's all about keeping yourself grounded and just letting it suck. There you go. That's a new way to put it. Letting it suck. I mean, what else is there to say? Let it suck. Embrace the suck. Embrace the suck. I mean, that's really what this comes down to. Just know that it's not you. It's just these feelings and thoughts need to release, and that's all. That's all it is. These feelings and thoughts need to release. Simple as that. Let it release. Let the release happen. Let the release happen, my friends. Let it happen. Stop running circles in the maze of anxiety. I love it, Kate. I know y'all can do it. Commit to the keys. I know it's hard, but you are capable. Absolutely, Kate. Thank you for the positivity. Letting it sucks, but it works. There you go. I mean, I think David just pretty much summed up what we've been trying to say for a very long time here on the channel. Letting it suck sucks. Letting it suck sucks. It's a tongue twister. Letting it suck sucks, but it works. There you go. Even if you're shaking, you have to realize that your fear of fueling the fire, and it's like you have some bad side effects for a while. Yeah, just like David said, let it suck. Let it. I mean, that's all it comes down to. I love it. You guys always have awesome little sayings in the chat. Some of those that I keep coming back to, and I actually use in future streams. So I love it. That could be your mantra right there. Let it suck. All right, guys, we got about 10 minutes. Final call. We got about 10 minutes in the stream. If you have any questions, please get those in now. Please get those in. We will do our best to answer them. As soon as I seen Sky say that he was back, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely going to mention what we just said. He's definitely going to capitalize on that 110%. And I was not disappointed, because he definitely did. What did I walk in on? The suck. Yes, yes, Sky. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, he'll probably capitalize on that too. Anyway, we're off topic. We're off topic. Yes, we got about 10 minutes left in the stream, so please ask your questions. Like I said, we will do our best to answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. Big old stretch. Big old stretch. I need my back popped. I need someone to pop my back. Never bothered me anyway. You're definitely on the right track. Keep it up. There you go, Sky. That's definitely one way to put it. I like it. I like it. I'm all the time referencing your guys' comments in like future streams and stuff. Started welcoming it thanks to Wonder Bro, knowing that I'm learning how to embrace the suck. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Keep at it. Keep it going. You're absolutely right. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. That's one that we used to say and really still say all the time. Are we going to do a live? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to get up with you on the Discord. It's the only way I can really get up with you. And you gotta be in the which you are, I think, already. But yeah, the Discord is how we get into the podcast channel. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. All right, final call. We're about 5 minutes away from the end of the stream, you guys. If you got any questions, drop them now. Drop them now. We've got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. Final call. Final call. I'm going to drop that link one more time. I normally don't drop links to my own videos, but I feel like that's a stream that, I don't know, really opened some eyes. Still haven't watched my first one. It was good. People enjoyed it. People really enjoyed it. Soccer Bomb! Soccer Bomb, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Thank you. Thank you. That puts us at 25. I don't think we're going to hit the tip goal quite tonight, you guys. I don't think we're going to hit it tonight. We might end on 226. We got a couple minutes left in the stream. Wonder Bro had a pretty bad day yesterday because I did a reassurance. Man, what a mistake. I told myself not to do that again. Feeling better today, but I'm kind of on a cautious mode. Yeah, so a bit of a lingering effect, you could say, a bit of a foul taste in your mouth from yesterday, and that's okay. People make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. This is a very normal part of recovery. You're back on board. You're back on track, and that's all that matters. You know, you can't go back and change yesterday, right? You can't go back and change yesterday. You're back on track today, and again, that is all that matters, right? That is all that matters. Rick, thank you for the purple hearts. Keep at it, soccer mom, and thank you so much for the $10 tip. Appreciate you. Kate, Rick, thank you guys for the purple hearts. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Listening to my own voice is like nails on a chalkboard. I feel like most people do feel that way about their own voice. That's not uncommon. I was that way too when I first started making videos. Ooh. Sky, thank you for the purple hearts, dude. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Hope you're having a good night. Australian accent, one of my favorites. I agree. I like the Australian accent. I like any accent that's not mine. Does that make sense? I find any accent that isn't mine unique and interesting. Chris, did you ever try to sleep and the anxiety won't let you? Struggling with this now. Everything that we talked about in the stream tonight, Cliff, is going to help you there, even when it comes to the sleep thing. Rick, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Rick, I appreciate you. I'm going to address that in just a second. That takes us to 35. Maybe we will hit tip goal tonight. I'm not sure. Yes, Cliff, everything that we talked about tonight, dude, thank you again, Rick, is going to come down to the sleep thing too. The more you tell yourself negative things and fight it, the harder it's going to be for you. Sleep will come, and that's all you need to know. You should just leave it at that, right? You need to close the book and stop going on with the story that you tell yourself about the sleep thing. You got to end the story, and you got to say, you know what? If you're worried about it, just remind yourself that sleep will come, and that's it. That's all you have control over. You need to end the story. You need to end the second fear story that just drags this thing on and on. So basically, everything that we talked about in the stream tonight, absolutely, 110%, 100 million billion trillion percent applies to you and the sleep difficulties that you're having. Absolutely, absolutely. Kate, thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you so much. Sky, thank you for the purple hearts. I sound great for a dyslexic chainsaw. That's, that's quite the mental image. That's what I was thinking, Kate. You took the words out of my mouth. Would it still cut? I don't know. I don't know about that one. Claire was Australian, right? I'm pretty sure. I think so. I believe. I don't know. I have to Google that, but I'm pretty sure she was. David, thank you for supporting me on that point. So, David was struggling sleeping for a while. Said I heard Wonder Bros say, sleep will come when it comes. And I kept saying that. Now I can sleep. Yeah, it's all about changing that resistance, dude. All about that change of perspective. That's what it is. Donkey, thank you so much for the purple hearts. Donkey, David, thank you for the purple hearts. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Maybe the chain would have to be put on backwards. Oh, okay. I see what you're getting at. That's a good point, Kate. Old boogies, yes. The boogeyman. Who doesn't love Dr. Claire Weeks? And she says, does she say the bogies? I think she says bogies. But she does say boogeyman too, doesn't she? Or am I just imagining things? At some point in her book, I'm pretty sure she says, no, she says bogeyman, not boogeyman, because it's different accents, right? That's like an Australian thing, I think. I don't know. Sky could probably confirm this for us. Do you say boogeyman, Sky, or do you say bogeyman? Because the more I think about it, she did say bogeyman, not boogeyman. I don't know. We'll get our expert to weigh in on this, because now I'm curious. Because now I'm curious. The three bogey. Yeah, she definitely said bogey. Bogies. The bogies. The three bogies. Both. Okay, you say both. Okay. Got it. Bogey. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Okay. Problem solved. We figured it out, chat. We figured it out. Teamwork, man. Teamwork. I need to revisit the books and the lectures again. Just to kind of like refresh a little bit. I mean, I probably would never need to, as much as I talk about this subject, but it might help the streams. I don't know. I might do a refresher course, but I think we've said pretty much all you can say. Really, our streams nowadays are just rehashing of what we've already, you know, talked about many, many times. Sound it out. You would not... Well, actually, you probably would believe how often I have to sound things out. Pass through panic, not hope and help. Gotcha. Hope and help was never... Hope and help was never made into an audiobook, was it? I don't think. Alright, guys, we're going to be winding this one down. Soccer Mom. Soccer Mom. I was literally about to end the stream, and it looks like the tip goal is saved. We're on a 227-day streak. Man, we cut that close sometimes. It's spicy. It gets a little spicy as we get closer and closer to the end. But it looks like long live the tip goal. We are moving on to a 227-day streak. That is absolutely insane. Somebody the other day asked how many months are in 227 days. I'm not quite sure. I never looked it up, but a lot. I don't know, a lot. That's your answer, just a lot. 227 days in the nick of time. Yes, Donkey. Man, it gets really spicy when we get that close. It gets the heart pumping a little bit. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Long live the tip goal. We're on 227-day streaks. When does it end? I do not know, but we're just going up, up, up. Thank you guys so much for all of the love, support, the likes, views, and the tips, and everything, man. I don't know what this channel would be. Actually, I do know what this channel would be without you guys. It would be shit. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you guys all for the Purple Hearts. David, Sky, Jillian, Kate, thank you guys so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Great stream tonight, guys. Great questions. Start changing what you tell yourself about your thoughts and feelings, and embrace the suck. Embrace it. Embrace the suckage. Embrace the suck. I love you guys, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Until next time, as always, stay awesome. Love ya. Mwah. So much gratitude. Have an awesome day and night. Bye, beautiful people.